So what I've got left here is the little grassy plant parts and the water. But before I get to those, I think I want to do a dry brush on all the terrain rocky areas that I've painted already. So let's do a dry brush on that first, and then I'll do the greenery dry brush on those, and then I'll work on that water. Still trying to figure out the best way to do the water. But so for the dry brush part, I'm using bleach sand. It's a lighter end of what I've been using so far, so it should highlight everything really well. Dry brushing is really tricky at first when your brush is just getting started, but after you've been doing it for a while, it gets worked into the brush and it works a lot better. But I'm always worried about these first beginning parts of getting too much paint on, so I'm going to try and get as much into the brush here as I can, and then wipe as much off as I can. And then we just do the little magic trick of dry brushing. I always get to this point in my painting, I'm like, it's looking awfully cartoony until the two magic steps, dry brushing and a wash. After you do those two things, it doesn't look so cartoony anymore. I call it it's like magic painting. The magic happens with dry brushing. Yeah, you can see how the details of everything's just starts popping out. Just lightly work it in. All the edges will catch the paint. But you just kind of slop it on everywhere. You can see why I didn't want to do the greenery yet, because I don't want this over the greenery area. So I'm going to use I got two different tones of green, and then I've got a really light green that I'm going to use for dry brushing, like I'm doing with the rocks here. Just got to get that brush to that right spot where it's not putting too much on or not enough on. But everything just looks a lot more natural just by adding a simple little dry brush step. It's one of my favorite things. And then to wrap it all up, you put a wash on it. Okay, so that one's done. Put it aside. Move on to the next one. Hey Google, play music.
Got it. Here's Spotify.
Hey Google, stop playing. All right, the dry brush portion of the rock is done. So I'm going to put all that away, and we're going to work on the green next. And then figure out what to do on the blue part. It's almost time to make a new palette. Can make it out of that. There we go. New palette. And we're working with green. So I'm going to start with the dark first, which is the Black Forest green. And I'm going to start working on the foliage plants. Do the dark green at the bottom, and then do a little dabs of the lighter green. And then follow it up with the green dry brush. That's going to be way too much. So I'm just doing the foliage. And I'm not going to use my good brush for that. I'm going to use this nasty beat up brush, because that is really coarse through all those plant parts. So let's do some green. I do need to be careful not to get it anywhere outside of the green, what I've already painted in rock. My brush will be pretty destroyed by the time I'm done with this. Probably wouldn't be green foliage like this in this cave well cavern that I'm putting together, but I want to be able to use these for other things. Natural, normal rivers. So I'm going to focus on making them more universal than actually what it would be for this particular map. Alright, let's work on this for a little while. Hey Google, play music.
Sure, playing Spotify.
Hey Google, stop playing. Okay, so now we've got that. I'm going to apply just a little of this, just to give it some depth, I guess. Wow, that's really runny. Way too much water in there. I don't know that I can use that if it's that thin. Maybe I'll just do like a dry brushing. Just kind of. Oh, actually, with it that thin, it's almost transparent. I thought the contrasting colors would be a little more drastic. Alright, well, that was a quick layer. So my next step is some dry brushing. Oh, and my brush is still in the water. That's okay, because I have another brush I can use for this. Actually, I'm not going to use that. We'll see.